When Roddy reached Alvin's headquarters, he stared around in amazement. Wow, this is like a real-life storeroom, he grinned. And these are the cases we have solved, Marsh told him, showing him a huge scrapbook of newspaper reports. Roddy looked impressed as he flipped through the book, and when Wailing sat down behind her desk, Roddy dragged his chair over beside her. Alvin watching with a scowl and tapped Rafi on the shoulder. I think we should start our investigation, he prompted. Rafi nodded, covering his smile. Roddy, he began, we've all got lots of questions. Maybe you could tell us more about your manager. Maxie Bloom is a professional pop manager, Roddy replied. He manages lots of other bands too. Frankie was very rude to him, Mars recalled, and Maxie just put up with it. He didn't seem to care. Maxie is a pro, Roddy told her. He is used to dealing with people like Frankie. But do you trust him? quizzed Rafi. Who, Maxie? Roxy thought about it, running a hand through his purple hair. He's been our manager for 2 years. He's the one who made us famous. He saw us playing in a club and signed us on. He wouldn't have had anything to do with Ray's disappearance. No way. When we don't perform, he doesn't earn. He have no reason to hurt us honestly. How do the group start out? Sinchita asked. Roddy grinned. It was all Ray's idea. See, Ray is a year older than me. He's always been my idol. When we started, there was just 2 of us, and we needed a drummer. So we asked cousin Frankie to join us. I wish we hadn't, Roddy hesitated, his eyes clouded with anger. That's when all the trouble started. But because he's so rude, commented Mars. Roddy nodded. He kind of makes a point of being rude to everyone. I don't know why, and he's always asking for more money. What does Romeo think of him? Questioned Wailing. Ray's too easy on him, Roddy grunted. He digs into him all the time, just to keep the group together. Frankie's a real pain. Sinchita thought he'd gone too far. But you do need him, don't you? Asked Sinchita bitterly, her eyes flashing. He is a good drummer, isn't he? Let's face it. She gave Roddy a searing look. Nobody's perfect. And with that she got up and walked out into the shop. Ma stared after her curiously. At that moment, back at the hotel in room 4002, Frankie Doddred was watching television and Maxie the manager was enjoying a few moments of peace and quiet. Suddenly a scraping sound caught his attention. He glanced across in time to see an envelope being slipped under the table. He pushed himself out of his chair and reached for the envelope. More fan mail? Frankie smiled from his bed. Maxie ignored him. He peeled open the envelope and froze. The single sheet of paper was inside. Letters had been cut from newspaper to make up a simple, terrifying message. We've got Romeo. Pay $1 million or you'll never see him again. Wait for our instruction. Maxie's hand was trembling, his face pale. He could feel tightness in his chest. He ran to the telephone. Half an hour later, after a stormy meeting with Maxie and Frankie, Sergeant Sue returned to the hotel's basement security room. He was seething with anger. It's now a kidnapping case, he told his senior man. Someone impersonating Roddy Doddred came out of room 4001, and while our man was distracted and went in search of him, someone else managed to slip a ransom letter into room 4002. Meanwhile, the real Roti Dodred is also missing. But we've got the hotel sealed, protested one of the officers. How could anyone get in or out? But you didn't have men posted at the staff entrance, did you? Sergeant Sue snapped back. I want to see the surveillance tapes from the hotel security cameras. Sergeant Sue put up a chair and began watching the videotapes. By the hotel security cameras, he sipped from a plastic cup of water, his eyes fixed keenly on the screen. Suddenly, a fountain of water spurted from his mouth all over the desk. His assistant jumped clear just in time. What's the matter, sir? Stop the tape, ordered Sergeant Sue. Let me see the last 20 seconds again. They replayed it, staring at the grainy gray images on the screen. Sue's sergeant assistant shrugged. It's just some of the staff going off duty, sir. Staff my food, barked Sergeant Sue. That waiter is Alvin So, and that maid is Tan Wei Ling, and I'll bet that's Roti with them hiding behind the laundry bag. He let up, squashing the plastic cup. This time he shook his head violently. Alvin's gone too far. Mars had become bored with all the questions. She got up and walked out into the shop, hoping to find Cinchita. Alvin's mother waved from behind the counter. Cinchita was inspecting a rack of jewelry, and Mars went across and joined her. Mars caught Cinchita's eyes. She gave her a sheepish smile. You were so fierce in there about Frankie. I mean, don't tell me you like him. She probed. I didn't know you liked rude men. Cinchita laughed, feathering the jewelry. Frankie, he's easy. I mean, you know where you stand with him. Anyhow, I just dish it back to him. But I don't think he's really rude. It's just an act he puts up on to protect himself, so he doesn't get hurt. And I understand where he's coming from. But underneath it all, I think he's a very quiet and honest guy. Mars stared at Cinchita in amazement, her mouth hanging open. Wow, she shook her head. You mean you can see all that in him? Cinchita winked. Of course. Mars nodded. Sometimes Cinchita really surprised her with what she thought and felt. Mars hated rude men. She liked to be fussed over and made to feel special. Well, what do you think of Rocky? She asked her friend. Cinchita snorted. He's just too smooth, too slick, too Mr. Nice Guy. I don't trust him. Mars looked down worried. You'd better not let Wei-Ling hear you say that. I think she's fallen for him. Cinchita stared into the distance. She'll learn. Then she swung around, followed by Mars. She returned to where Alvin and the others were making their plans. Azizu bolted through the staff entrance and down the lane behind the hotel. He dived into the shadows of another doorway and caught his breath. He reached into his pocket for his mobile and realized it was still in the waiter's trousers that Roti was now wearing. He pulled out a handful of notes and coins. At least he consoled himself. He'd have enough money to get a cab back to the headquarters. He was just about to make a dash for the main street when he saw the bouncer come out. The big man stopped, looked up and down the lane. At last, satisfied that nobody was watching him, he began walking briskly to the main street. Azizu made a split-second decision. Slipping from his doorway, he followed the big man. Something told him that the bouncer was the key to the mystery of Romeo's disappearance.